The Chartist movement wasn't just a political footnote. It was Britain's working classes finally deciding they'd had enough of being treated as spare parts in their own country. Born out of hunger, poverty, and a righteous fury, that the 1832 Reform Act had gifted votes to middle-class property men while leaving the workers out in the cold, Chartism was the first time ordinary Britons organized on a truly national scale. Forget kings, lords, and landed gentry. This was democracy knocking on the door with calloused fists. The grievances were as sharp as they were simple. The new Poor Law of 1834 shoved the destitute into grim workhouses that split families apart. Factories were choking men, women, and children to death in their prime. And wages, when they came at all, were barely enough to keep bread on the table. Out of this misery came a fire. The London Working Men's Association, led by William Lovett and his comrades, drafted the People's Charter in 1838. 6 demands, basic, almost laughably fair to modernize: votes for all men, secret ballots, equal constituencies, payment for MPs, no property barriers, and annual elections. Nothing about storming palaces or hanging bankers from lampposts. Just a voice, a chance, a shred of dignity. But Parliament treated these demands with contempt, as though democracy were a disease. The petitions were staggering: 1.3 million signatures in 1839, over 3 million in 1842, and as many as 5 million by 1848. Each time, the ruling class barely looked up from their port and cigars before tossing them aside. The result: violence simmered. At Newport in 1839, thousands of miners marched under banners of liberty. The army answered with bullets, leaving bodies in the street. In 1842, striking workers pulled the plugs from factory boilers, halting industry in protest. By 1848, inspired by revolutions sweeping Europe, 150,000 assembled at Kennington Common, only to find themselves outnumbered by police and soldiers itching for blood. Chartism declined, but it never truly died. Its leaders were jailed, its petitions ridiculed, its followers broken by hunger and repression. Yet out of that struggle, Britain slowly bent toward democracy. By 1918, 5 of the 6 charter points had become law. Only the demand for annual elections still lies buried, perhaps wisely so. There's a grim humor in it. Men who couldn't afford shoes dared to demand the vote, and the establishment sneered at them as dangerous radicals. Dangerous, maybe, but only because they believed Britain could be more than a playground for the wealthy few. Our ancestors didn't just moan. They marched, they bled, they filled parchment with millions of names, daring history to remember them. And history has. The Great in Great Britain was written not by monarchs and generals,